Now, do you envy people who seem to have mastered the art of layering? Do you see pictures in magazines or see somebody walking down the street and they look so stylish and they've got all these different layers on and you think, well, I'm never going to be able to achieve that? Well, in this video, I'm going to share the definitive tips on how to style without adding bulk. Hello, I am Elinor and I'm really excited that you're joining me here on my new show, Your Style Renaissance at Rich Women magazine. I am a certified style coach and I specialise in helping women over 50 redefine their style. And I'll be sharing my expertise to help you find your very own style renaissance. If you're new here, I'm delighted to welcome you, and don't forget to click the subscribe button below and stick around until the end of the video where I will be sharing my 4 simple steps for layering. Now, people get very worried about layering. They think that it's really complicated, and they also think that if you're going to put all these layers on in different textures and different wools and things like that, then you're going to look bulkier. But I promise you that once you get the hang of it, it is really, really simple. Now, the most important thing is to make sure that each layer matters, each layer is relevant. So there's no point in putting lots of layers on and then thinking, oh golly, I can't take that off because I've got a hole in my t-shirt, or my arms look too big in this. You've got to be confident in everything you wear, so you can layer up or down depending on the weather and also depending on how you feel. I know that having reached menopause, that I spend my life taking things on and off all the time. So I need to make sure that everything I wear is going to look good on its own. So first of all, we're going to start with base layer, and that can be a t-shirt, it can be a body, or it can be a simple camisole like this. Always start with a thinner layer to begin with. So your base layer is the thinnest layer that you've got, be it silky or just a t-shirting material, or like this, just a thin camisole, and then we can build up from there. Now, the second layer, again, has got to be fairly thin, so you need to start from the thinnest layers, just start building them up as you get more and more layers. So keep the second layer, again, quite thin. This time we've got a very thin linen-y type t-shirt, long sleeve t-shirt. I'm keeping everything in neutral colours, but another of the arts of layering is you can play with colours. So you can play with tones, you can play with patterns, you can have different colours on colours, you can have different patterns on patterns. It's just the matter of playing with what you've got and experimenting and having fun. So second layer, keep it nice and simple, nice and loose, nice and thin, and then we can start building up from there. For the third layer, I've gone, again, very neutral colours, but you can play with your colour schemes. Usually better to have lighter colours coming out to dark, but again, that's very much a personal preference. I've gone for a cotton shirt here with it open at the front. Remember that your layers need to be able to come on and off easily. You don't want to be struggling with lots of fiddly buttons or pulling things over your hair so you're spoiling your hair. Just keep that in mind again when you're layering. A simple cotton shirt left open at the front, or you can do it up, whatever your preference. So in layer number 4, we're now getting a little bit different textures. We're getting a little bit thicker in the textures, but also another tip of layering is to play with lengths. So you can either just keep going longer and longer and longer if you want to. So I could have put a longer jacket or a longer cardigan over the top of this. But this time I've gone for a short ballerina type cardigan, which fits just under the bust. Again, very loosely wrapped, just gives that little bit of extra warmth around your shoulders, and just a bit more interesting layers and textures together. Also remember, only ever layer the top half. Don't be tempted to start layering down below, or that will start to add all the pounds on. So keeps the top half, and that is layer number 4. So for layer number 5, again, the fabrics are getting a little bit stiffer, a little bit thicker. And this time we've gone for the longer length. So on top of all the other lengths, you've got this lovely long jacket. Again, it's a very simple design, so it's not adding any bulk here at all, and it's just skimming over the top of all the other layers. With this layer, you can then start adding belts, again, which is another way of layering things on. So by adding a belt here, it just cinches a little bit more into the waist and just adds a little bit more interest and texture to the outfit. And then also on top of that, now you've got the belt, we can then start adding even more layers if it's really cold. So you could get your scarf and wrap that round your shoulders, and then this can be tucked in through the belt if you wanted to. and then over the shoulders like that. And then of course you could just wear it as a scarf around the neck, just to keep your neck warm. And then again, it's easy to take on and off, or you can just wear it loose around your neck like that. And then if you get really fed up of it and you don't want to carry it anymore, just wrap it around your handbag, and then it just adds extra interest there, and you've always got it with you. And also don't forget that you can also layer all your jewellery as well. So you could have tons of bangles, layering bangles up your arm, or like I've done here with the necklaces, lots of necklaces. Just think of Coco Chanel and all the lovely pearls that she had all around her waist, or around her neck, all up her arms. So just keep layering and layering and layering until you feel it's too much. And that's as simple as it is. Has that stopped your fear of layering? I really hope it has. I hope it's given you some inspiration, and especially as we're going to be spending most of our time outside socialising, layering is going to become a very important part of how we get dressed. So play with it, have fun, experiment, and don't be afraid. Just remember the rules, which I'm just about to give you. So rule number 1 is remember always to make every layer matter. Every layer has got to be relevant. Don't forget that you might want to strip right down, or you might want to put everything on, so everything that you choose has got to be able to stand on its own, and you've got to feel good in it. So rule number 2 is always to start with the thinnest fabric first, and then you start building up on that as the layers come out. Rule number 3 is to make sure that all your layers are easily removable, so you don't end up pulling all your hair out of place or by fiddling with buttons all the time. So have them so you can take them off and on really easily. And rule number 4 is don't forget to play with lengths. So you can have short over long, long over short, all sorts of different things mixed and matched. Play with lengths, play with colours, play with textures, and you're done. It's as simple as that. So join me every week on Rich Women magazine, where we'll be discussing everything from how to wear denim, how to look elegant when you're exercising, how to cope with the wedding season, and everything else in between. We will be discussing all the latest trends, what to wear to the races, how to get out of your style rut, and we'll even give you details of everything that we mention in the description below. Plus you can carry on the conversation with us every Friday from 10 to 11 on Clubhouse in the Rich Women room. So check in the description below. Don't forget to click the like button and the subscribe button, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for joining me.